street cars that can beat 200 MPH or 320 KPH. Photo, Bugatti Chiron. The 16 best street legal cars that can do over 200 MPH. Posted by Sean Turman. June 25, 2019. Nobody needs a car that can go over 200 miles per hour. By that same measure, nobody needs a delicious slice of pizza, a pair of hi-fi headphones, or an iconic wristwatch. But that doesn't mean that some of us don't want those things. Thankfully, we live in a world where we can get them if we want and can afford them. And yes, that includes super fast automobiles. As it turns out, you don't even have to be a race car driver in order to get a ride that can send your eyeballs into the back of your skull. You don't even have to be absurdly rich or have access to a racetrack. All you have to do is find and buy one of these 16 best street legal cars that are capable of over 200 miles per hour. From hypercars to muscle cars, luxury grand tourers to all-electric street rockets, ultra-expensive autos to budget ballistic missiles, you can literally drive each and every one of these off the lot. Dodge Challenger Srt Hellcat Svr. When it comes to pony cars, the Dodge Challenger is one of the greatest ever to hit the pavement. And while it doesn't have the distinction of creating the category that belongs to the Ford Mustang, we're confident in our belief that its modern interpretation is the best of the current bunch. That goes double when you consider the monstrous Srt Hellcat Svr. This street legal beast has an absolutely gargantuan supercharged 6.2L Hemi V8 engine available that's good for up to 797 horsepower and 707 foot-pounds of torque. That power plant enables this broad-shouldered ICBM to hit up to 203 miles per hour. She may not have the finesse of some of these other rides, but you're not paying a premium price for her either. Top speed, 203 miles per hour. Horsepower, 797. Torque, 707. Purchase, $69,650 plus. Cadillac Cts-V, easily the biggest sleeper on our list. Cadillac Cts-V has no business being as quick as it is. While it looks like a relatively high-end luxury sedan, this sporty four-wheeler has a beast waiting to be unleashed just below the hood. We're talking, of course, about its 6.2L V8 engine, which is based on the LS6 found in the Chevrolet Corvette Zr1. That monstrous beating heart gives this unassuming sports sedan an output of 640 horsepower, 630 foot-pounds of torque, and a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Probably the only downside to this particular ride is that it has a price tag that speaks more to the performance figures than the less than breathtaking styling. Still, if you want to feel like the underdog with an ace up your sleeve, this is definitely the vehicle for you. Top speed, 200 miles per hour. Horsepower, 640. Torque, 630. Purchase, $86,995 plus. Chevrolet Corvette Zr1. If you want hypercar levels of performance, but you're not lucky enough to have deep enough pockets, all is not lost. You can always turn to Chevrolet and their magnificent Zr1 to split the difference. At a fraction of the cost of, say, a McLaren Senna, you can actually get better performance figures out of this legendary Chevy. Granted, it doesn't have the same British pedigree, but we're not entirely convinced that's a bad thing. You see, the Corvette Zr1 is an American automobile through and through, which is one of the big reasons we love it so much. It's also worth pointing out that the latest version of the Zr1 is the most powerful ever built, with up to 755 horsepower and 715 foot-pounds of torque. That also works out to a top speed of 212 miles per hour, which just barely ekes out the McLaren Senna, as mentioned, for nearly $900,000 less. Top speed, 212 miles per hour. Horsepower, 755. Torque, 715. Purchase, $123,000 plus. Jaguar F-Type Svr. Jaguar is perhaps best known for delicately balancing class and performance, but that doesn't mean they don't know how to push a vehicle to its limits, as evidenced by the F-Type Svr coupe you see before you. This monster of a sports coupe comes courtesy of the brand's in-house tuners at SVO, Special Vehicle Operations, and hinges upon an upgraded, supercharged 5.0L V8 engine that's good for a total of 575 horsepower and a top speed of 200 miles per hour on the dot. That also means this ride does 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds and has plenty of off-the-line torque, courtesy of an all-wheel drive system. And, as if that's not enough, it also has a fully featured interior with modern tech, quilted leather performance seats, a lean titanium exhaust system, an active carbon fiber rear spoiler, and so much more. Top speed, 200 miles per hour. Horsepower, 575. Torque, 516. Purchase, $123,600 plus. Audi R8. Although it's only been around since 2006, the Audi R8 will undoubtedly go down as one of the greatest cars of all time. Its sleek and surprisingly minimalist styling is iconic, but doesn't betray the beast of a beating heart inside that gives it up to 611 horsepower and 617 foot-pounds of torque, figures that, together, give it a top speed of 205 miles per hour. Interestingly, this car is actually built upon a Lamborghini platform. First the Gallardo, and then the Huracan. However, the similarities between this and the Raging Bull cars pretty much stop there, as the R8 utilizes Audi's aluminum monocoque space frame atop the chassis. Truly a masterpiece of engineering, each R8 is built by hand out of over 5,000 individual parts before being inspected by 95 lasers, ensuring tolerances within 0.1 millimeters of the blueprints. It's not as flashy as some of its brethren, but this supercar has it where it counts. Top speed, 205 miles per hour. Horsepower, 562 to 611. Torque, 406 to 617. Purchase, $169,900 plus. Porsche 911 Turbo S. If the Senna doesn't hold the crown for the ultimate driver's car, then the distinction probably belongs to the Porsche 911, especially if you consider the 205 miles per hour Turbo S trim. Unmistakable in its styling, this German sports car is exceptional in just about every single way, both inside and out. Fully upgraded with the Sport Chrono package, it has a 0 to 60 time of just 2.8 seconds, fast enough to give you whiplash, even if you're the one pushing down on the pedals, thanks to its twin-turbocharged 6-cylinder boxer engine. That power plant is also good for a total of 580 horsepower and 516 feet-pounds of torque. Beautiful and iconic in its styling and aggressive in its performance, this street-legal legend definitely belongs amongst the greatest automobiles of all time. Top speed, 205 miles per hour. Horsepower, 580. Torque, 516. Purchase, $190,700 plus. Lamborghini Aventador S. While it's safe to say that all of Lamborghini's cars are fast, you might be surprised to find that they actually have few that inch over that 200 miles per hour top speed echelon. The Raging Bull brand is not without its own street rocket, however, in the Aventador S, which has a top speed of an impressive 217 miles per hour. This version of the automaker's most iconic vehicle features a monstrous V12 engine that can pump out an equally monstrous 740 horsepower. But since speed isn't everything, it also comes loaded with plenty of other bonuses, like Lamborghini Active Vehicle Dynamics, 4-wheel steering, 130% better downforce than previous iterations, and more. Top speed, 217. Horsepower, 740. Torque, 507. Purchase, $417,650 plus. Ford GT. When a brand comes forward and says that a particular model in their lineup is the culmination of everything great they do, you should probably pay attention. That goes double when it's a game-changing, history-making car manufacturer like Ford. Responsible for some of the biggest leaps in the automotive world over the years, Ford has pulled out all the stops in the creation of their GT, and their dedication to its excellence is abundantly clear. Boasting a body whose shape is the result of extensive wind tunnel testing, a 3.6L EcoBoost